All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of The Urban Voice. I have the distinguished pleasure of sitting here with the Fiscal Manager for the Urban League, Mr. Lorenzo Richardson. Welcome. Welcome to the platform. We greatly appreciate you. Excellent. So we just have a couple of series of some questions regarding your tenure, your responsibilities, and some of your outside of the agency involvement in other avenues of your career. So first I want to start off with what originally motivated you to pursue a career in fiscal management and community focus work?
Well, that's fairly simple. I grew up poor on welfare.
Okay, wow.
And I wanted to learn about money and to learn how to save and to help out my family.
Okay.
So my number one goal was actually to help my mom. And so, at that time, she was a single mom, and it was a struggle, and I saw what she was going through, and I wanted to make sure that she was okay and that our family was okay.
Yeah, noble son. I think most sons pursue that when it comes to mom. Give mom a better opportunity because we know what they sacrifice for us.
Absolutely.
Oh wow, that's great. All right.
Yes.
So how did your journey lead you to the Urban League?
Well, that was kind of interesting. I was actually working for a global corporation at the time, Panasonic.
Private sector?
Private sector.
Private sector, okay.
I was working corporate, and prior to that, I was working. You can say it was corporate / nonprofit.
Okay.
The old Jersey City Medical Center.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were partial nonprofit,
right.
Partial corporate. And so at one point I was working for their home care agency. They had purchased an agency from the city of Jersey City called City Nursing.
Okay.
And so the controller made a decision to throw me in there.
Okay. Hey.
And kind of do the numbers for them.
Right.
And so that turned out to become a full-time thing. And so they moved me into the facility once they moved us on to, at that time, it was on to Summit Avenue, I believe they moved it into. Mm-hmm. And so, because it was a number of years ago. Mm-hmm. And so I was there for quite some time. And then I was recruited to work for Panasonic.
Okay.
And so that's when I ended up in corporate, and I was there for quite some time. And then I was actually, the way I ended up here was kind of, like I said, very interesting. Mm-hmm. When I was an employee of Panasonic,
right,
we had a Black History Month program.
Okay.
And so I was on the committee.
Okay.
With all the different programs that we had for cultural events, Asian American Month,
right,
Hispanic Heritage Month. And so when Black History Month came up, we came up with the idea of, who could we have come become a speaker? And so that speaker that I came up with in my mind was Glenn Cunningham.
Okay.
So
the late great Glenn Cunningham.
The late Glenn Cunningham.
Yeah.
And
Rest in
so
peace, Glenn.
He came, and at the time he was mayor and state senator.
That's right.
And so he came and spoke, and the title of his, if you want to call it a speech or his presentation, was called "What Black History Means to Me."
Okay.
So at the end of that program, although I was happy at my work and doing what I do, and I was groomed to be part of the leadership of the future of the company,
right.
He inspired me so much that I wanted to quit my job at that moment and leave with him.
Wow.
I did not do that.
Okay. Okay.
Because my mother said, "You don't do stuff
like that." That's right.
So, but eventually, not too long after that, I made the decision to come back to Jersey City. I got more involved. I started attending city council meetings, a lot of community meetings, and going to school board meetings.
Okay.
And so when that took place, I decided to make a decision to just leave the company without another job lined up.
Right.
I left it up to God. And so I saw an opening at the Urban League, and I didn't know what would happen, but I just applied. And then I also applied at the same time. For Deloitte and Touche.
Okay.
And so the head person who wanted to recruit me kept calling me back. And I said, I understand, but I have this one more interview to do. I just want to respect everybody who reached out to me.
Right.
And so at that time that she called me, I also got a call back from the Urban League. Mr. Umar was the
CEO at the time?
CFO at the time.
CFO, okay.
Yeah, he was the CFO. And so he interviewed me. He literally hired me on the spot. He asked me when I could start. I told him that, well, I can't start right away because I'm in the middle of going to a National Black Student Leadership Development Conference where I'm going to be giving a presentation on financial literacy.
Okay.
And so I had to do that program first. I explained to him. I was very transparent.
Right.
Showed him the documentation. And it was for the late Dr. Carol F.S. Hardy, who ran this conference for like 27 years. And so I got involved with that conference when I was in college, and I continued to attend, and I wanted to support it, and I wanted to support the people who were coming.
That's right.
Because there were a lot of college students who didn't know a lot about money and finance.
Financial literacy, right.
And so since I got my degree in accounting, I wanted to try to share that expertise and some information about what I knew about stocks, bonds, how compound interest works, investing. I was even involved at that time with investment clubs.
Okay.
And so, told some stories about, how money was made and how I worked with another particular group that we were investing in as a group.
Well, let me ask you, do you think that accounting as a major in college at this particular point is a lost, sought-after major for minorities?
Yeah, I think it's a very positive one, and I think it's one that is very much needed because financial literacy, for even if you're not even African American, like I am, but just people in general, because the general populace at large is not really astute with finances for the most part. We struggle with car payments and things like that, and not maybe understanding everything that we sign, when we do a loan and things of that nature. So it's important to kind of just know at least some of the basics, or at least what questions to ask.
The foundation of it.
Yes, and so I feel that it's always important to know those things. It's really important.
So we're gonna jump into a different gear. So, and this is exciting to me because a lot of people don't know that you were involved in the Jersey City Board of Education, and it's those that know, but a lot of people really don't know that you are currently a winner of an election. You were elected into the seat on the board, Jersey City Board of Education. So what inspired you to take on that role, and what was some of the things that you would say gave you the inspiration, I should say, to see if you can have some involvement in the change in the way that the board does things, especially for the students of Jersey City?
Well, from an overall general perspective, and I guess you can say it's community related or just having common decency for your fellow man.
Right.
I was approached by 3 parents who had special needs students in the school district.
Okay.
And they were crying and they were upset, and they asked me to come to a community meeting, and they wanted to hear what the issues were.
Right.
I did that. They asked me, can I come with them to a school board meeting?
Okay.
And so I saw how the school board was essentially, as they were stating, being ignored for the needs of their students. And there's laws around special education that you have to follow and make sure that you take care of when it comes to the students. When I saw what took place there, I was appalled, and so I continued to go back to meetings.
Okay.
That was 38 years ago. I still go to board meetings now, even before I got reelected. And but I spent 9 years on the board previously, and then I was ousted by political forces.
Right.
But people found it not robbery to ask me to come back
Right.
and serve again, because during the time that I did serve, some of the most incredible things that have probably happened in the last 50 years took place that I was at the helm to achieve.
You had that impact. That's what we call impact, and people saw that.
Yeah, and it's an interesting story. You know, maybe I should make it into a movie one day, because the late Dr. Elnardo Webster, who was a board member here for the Urban League.
By the way, is one of my godfathers. Run, baby, run.
Yes, and he was. How can I put this? He was the highly skilled professional that the state brought in while we were still under state control.
Right.
I worked with him directly to get the state control back. The district back from state control.
Right.
And so when that took place, you know, that was an incredible feat, because we were under state control for 33 years.
Yep.
And I worked with Joan Terrell Page on that, and we also had some help from Gerald Lyons and Marilyn Roman, who were also all on the board. Then in addition to that, when the pandemic hit, I also helped the district get Chromebooks for all the students, 2-to-1 Chromebooks. We're probably the only district that had 2-to-1 Chromebooks for the kids. They got the touchscreen computers on the walls. We never had that. We got laptops for all of the teachers. Most teachers didn't have laptops, and a lot of computers in the district wasn't working. And then we also did a lot of other work, you know, in areas where we even started up a Cisco networking certification program for students. It's currently now in its 3rd year.
Okay.
I helped, you know, get that together with the head of the IT department in the district. And we have students getting their Cisco networking certification as they graduate high school.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. These are the things that go unheard of in our community. It's always someone behind the scenes. You don't always have to be in the limelight to get things done. And I think people have a misconception. They don't realize the work, the tireless efforts, the time that people sacrifice and dedicate for just a small feat. Just a small feat. You've been at the helm of probably, you said 38 years. You've seen it change.
Oh, yeah.
Over and over. What qualities do you believe are essential for managing health and financial health of a nonprofit organization?
Well, I think the key things are to make sure, and this is always the key thing with any nonprofit, make sure your paperwork is in order.
Right.
Make sure you keep it up to date.
Right.
And accessible.
Okay.
Because your funders will ask for certain documents, and make sure that you have those things in place, and you have to make sure you do that. I'm one of the people who is responsible for that.
Yeah, we know.
My boss comes in, where's this, where's that?
That's right.
And so I have to go pull it, and you know, you got to keep copies of all your contracts.
Everything.
You have to document everything, and it's also good to, you know, when there's something that's on your mind or something that you may need to go back to or remember, it's always good to write that stuff down.
Always.
Write it in a journal, even if it's on a scrap of paper, on a sticky.
That's old school. That's so instead of documenting digital, you write it down. You can always reference it, man.
Absolutely. So you always got to keep that stuff handy, or just to remind you. You know, sometimes I'll put a little sticky on my monitor just to remind me of something. And because there's so many things that go on with a nonprofit, you know, things going back and forth, emergencies, things pop up. Oh, I need this. Oh, I need that. Oh, we need this for a grant. Oh, we got to do this. And so you may get pulled in a million directions.
That's right.
But you got to make sure that you have everything you need to be able to juggle all those tasks.
Compartmentalization. What are some of the financial challenges that nonprofits face today, and how do you navigate them?
That is an everyday challenge, because, you know, and even these days, you don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
Funding being cut, this, that, and the other.
Right.
So, but you want to make sure that you're prepared to pivot, because anything can happen at any given time. But as long as you have your documentation and you're doing your work and everything's current, you can make an assessment at that particular point and say, okay, where do we need to shift?
Right.
And then you make those adjustments, and then you can move forward accordingly to make sure that that you're still staying afloat. You want to stay strong.
Okay. All right, that's good. How has your experience in nonprofit finance influenced your work on the Jersey City Board of Education?
It's similar, and because it's also a fund accounting entity, it helps you to make those connections.
Okay. All right. See, that's a lot of people don't understand how the two can coexist, but they do. This is a very interesting question that I came up with. What drives your commitment to serving Jersey City and Hudson County?
Well, my drive comes from the man above.
Okay.
He wakes me up every day, and my mother, my grandmother, may she rest in peace, always told me just always do the right thing, and always make sure that, you're doing the right thing for the right reasons.
Right.
And so, sometimes you don't even know why you're compelled to do things, but you just want to make sure that if you are doing it, you're doing it for the right reasons.
That's good. That's good. So that means man of integrity. And a lot of people lack that. They lack integrity. That's about character. And that's when I first found out that you were running for re-election for the Jersey City Board of Education, and I saw it, I said, wait a minute, he didn't say anything. I said, he didn't say anything to anyone. And I said, you know what? That's Lorenzo being humble. That's him being humble. But
well, that's also another thing. So when I'm in the building, I don't bring anything political into the building, because, and even when I'm in church, I don't talk about that stuff, because you don't want to threaten anybody's nonprofit status, right? But what you do is, when you're out in the street and, hopefully, people see you around, you get your information, you say, hey, I'm here, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. So you try to be as many places as you can to move around. So you hand out your literature, talk to people, and you hope that they believe enough in you to vote for you.
Okay. All right. Well, closing. This is going to be probably, I'd say, 2 questions. So,
Awesome.